When I was back up north this past couple of weeks, people asked me, what's Sun City like? And I said, well, it's kind of like college, but you don't have any tests. Well, that's true to a certain extent, but these two women did have a test. They both played in the National Senior Games, and I'll let them explain to you what the National Senior Games are, but it's a very interesting set of process where it's basically the Olympics for people over 50 years old. So with me is Claire Spilly, who played in the Senior Games, and Jen Jennis, who played in the Senior Games. Claire is a coach on one of the teams here in the Women's League, and Jen is a shortstop for another team. So I have two opposing teams here next to me. But anyway, they both were very gracious in agreeing to come here and talk to us a little bit about their experience with the National Senior Games. Claire, can you give me basically a brief description of what the Senior Games are and how you came to be a part of that?
So the Senior Games take place every other year, but you have to qualify. So in the off years within your state, so in South Carolina, they hold games to qualify for the National Games. So last year, we had a scrimmage game here, and because not many South Carolina teams are represented in softball, we actually had the state rep come here and qualify the two teams. So literally, we could have had a team from Sun City attend this National Games. However, it didn't transpire. So hopefully in the future, again, I would encourage it. It's a great opportunity, but in order to qualify, you have to come in. If there were more than two teams in other states, there could be 5 teams competing. You have to come within the top 3 in order to compete in the National Games.
Now, you didn't play for a South Carolina team, though, did you?
No, sadly, I didn't. And I think later on I could tell you I did play back in 2022 for a Sun City team out of Sun City, and that was in Florida, which was awesome.
And Jen, how did you come about being part of these games?
Well, I have to thank Claire for that because last year she asked me if I wanted to play in the Huntsman Games with a team out of Oregon, and they needed 2 players, and I went with her and had a ball. So I was able to play again with that team, their Oregon-California team. So that's how I ended up. I had qualified here, but they picked me up.
How did you come? What team did you play for, and did you play for them in the preliminary games and also in the real games?
You mean out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played for them, all the pool games and then the bracket games.
Did you have any special preparation that you went through in order to get ready for the game? Like, did you have a special regimen of working out, of practicing, of your hitting, fielding, and so forth?
Well, I prepared a little bit here in South Carolina. I knew I was going, and I didn't know what position I'd be playing, so I made sure I did a little bit of grounders when I could. I work out in my driveway at home, and I have a rebounder, and I go to the batting cage, a couple times a week. So I wanted to make sure I could do well. So that's how I prepared.
And Claire, how did you prepare for the games?
Basically the same thing. I mean, we both participate in the Women's League down here, and there's different leagues down here. So we both played, which prepped us, and also going to the batting tee, that helps a lot. Going to the local batting cages also prepped us, and I'd run a mile or 2 every other day. Not really, but but we did, again, just playing ball and out here and getting repetition.
Now, you mentioned briefly earlier here that you played in the 2022 games, yes. Which, were they in Pittsburgh?
No, they were in Florida.
Oh, okay, because they were in Pittsburgh a few years ago. Yeah. But anyway, you played in those games. Yes. Did you see a difference between the two games, or did those 2022 games really prepare you for the 2025 games?
A little bit in preparation. At that point I was playing for a 55s team. Now I play for a 65. Jen is a little younger, so she plays for a younger team. But it's the whole atmosphere. Going down there in Florida and seeing, just the camaraderie and it's just huge. The number of athletes. The welcoming center it just blew me away. To see all, I think, oh my God, how am I going to keep playing at this age? And you see people out there 80, 90. Out here in Des Moines, there was a Colorado Peaches team. You had to be 80 years old, I believe 80 or 90, to be a member of that team. And they were out there playing. It's amazing.
So you did not play against each other?
No.
Okay. So you were both in different teams? Okay. You started to talk a little bit about the camaraderie and so forth. How did you feel the organization of the games were? Did you feel it was well organized? It was like a professional, or did you feel like it was an amateur? How did you feel about the whole aspect of the games?
They're already beginning to prep for the following 2027. We're going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they're already prepping. These people that run these games are professional. I think they're all volunteers. I don't believe they get paid, but they do a wonderful job. In Des Moines, I heard it being advertised on local radio stations. We go from archery to bowling. I mean, the number of sports is amazing. The number of athletes. And when you enter, it's very well organized. You have to go pick up your packets and your name's already there. They had a huge board with every athlete's name for you to see. The tournaments, they put you in a different bracket. So you play in some pool games first to see, because with every age bracket, there are different levels of competition and ability. So you play some pool games first, and then they organize it so that they try and place you then in a bracket that you're going to be in a competitive bracket. So no one's going to get a lopsided scoring of like 20-0. They try not to allow that to happen. So it's very organized.
Jen, what did you feel about the officiating and the caliber of play from some of the other players? Did you feel like it was a very professional setting, and did they make you feel like you were really at the Olympics, which you were?
Yeah, I think that everything, like Claire said, was very well run. I thought the umpires were amazing, friendly, made you feel, like joke around with you a little bit, but yeah, kept it professional. The games were on time. You didn't have to worry about that. The only thing that I was a little taken back by is we were playing on turf. I had never played on turf in my life. So I had to do a very big adjustment of figuring that all out.
So the infield was turf also?
Field. They were soccer fields. So, yeah, and some of them had like the brown, so it looked like the infield, and then some of the diamonds were all green and lines going all over the place. So you had to kind of figure out where to play.
I mentioned to you guys before we came on air, like some of the questions I was going to ask, and I'm going to basically throw one here at you that I didn't ask you about. But what did you watch any of the other games that were going on? I know there's like a track and field, and there's just a whole host of games that go on there. And did you get a chance to watch any of those games while you were there?
I did not. I watched just some other softball games, but I did not watch any other sports.
Claire, did you get a chance to watch any other ones?
No, the same thing. I watched other softball teams play, but I guess the venues are all over the place, and I wish I had, and I'm hopefully next year, in 2 years, hopefully I will be able to get to see other activities.
Well, I Googled them, and I did watch some of the other games, and it was very interesting to watch the play. It's very, very competitive. No matter what sport you're playing in, it's a very, very competitive. And obviously, we're not going to compete in the Olympics in wherever they're at this year. But for people our age, this is really an awesome thing for people to get involved with and to do. In that mindset, Claire, do you think you learned anything about yourself this year and the last time that you participated?
You get to a point in your life and you say, can I continue? My mind says I'm 20 and my body says, what are you doing? But like I said, the Colorado Peaches, they're out there 80, 90 years of age. So what I learned is, as long as you try and keep yourself as healthy and active, I'm looking forward to hopefully make that age of 80 and 90 and just realize that what I used to be able to do at the age of 20, I'm not going to be able to do that now, and you can't get frustrated. You go out, you try and make, do with what you have, your skill set, and do the best you can, and that's how everybody is. You make an error, you make a mistake. I mean, everybody's just so encouraging. The pros make errors, so it's just it's a great experience.
Yeah, you can end up in the Hall of Fame and bat .330, and that's like 1 out of 3. So you're not going to be doing any better. By the way, you said you were mentally 20. I'm probably mentally 12. So, Jen, did you learn anything about yourself in this process?
I did. The first thing I learned is that I need to improve my endurance because I was running for myself, and I ran every time for a girl on the team because she couldn't run, so I was on the bases all the time. I was dying. But I learned kind of similar to what Claire said, that I learned to be more adaptable because I didn't know what position I'd be playing. They had me in the outfield, and they brought me into the infield. And I said to myself, wow, to be 64 years old and out here playing and still diving and still running. And I'm very happy about that, and I hope I can continue to do that. And I also learned that it's fun to play with higher level players. That was a lot of fun, and it's just everyone knows what they're doing without talking to each other. It just happens. So that was fun.
Just curious, but in your past younger lives, did either of you play college or high school softball and kind of like knew what you were doing when you got here?
Yeah, I played travel ball when I started when I was 15. Then I played Division I softball, and I coached softball since I was 23 years old.
Okay.
So,
Claire, have you gone through any of that process in your lifetime?
Yeah, I actually started back when we were younger. Boys could start at age of 8, and the women had to wait until the age of 10. So I've basically been playing since the age of 10 in some capacity. I went to college, and then after college, I actually played for a team out of Parsippany, New Jersey, named the Budweiser Bells, and that was a fast pitch. And the coaches that I've had along the way, I mean, when something happens out on that field that I've done and I've accomplished, I thank the coaches that I've had in my past. They've, like Jen said, when we go out on the field at this level of play, we know what we're going to do with that ball if it comes to us. There's no thinking. It's just, we just know what we're doing. So all the years of playing ball, it's prepped me. Like I said, the coaches that I've had in my past have really prepped me as well.
Now, would you recommend this for anyone else? And if you would recommend it, what would you tell them? How would you tell them to prepare?
I would absolutely recommend it to anyone over the age of 50 in any condition that they are. Like I said, they start next year prepping, and then so you can start now prepping for 2 years. And anybody can do it. Like I said, you have all ages out there, all skill levels. It's a once in a lifetime. It's like an Olympics. I mean, I always dreamed of being in the real Olympics, And I remember going and watching the 1984 Olympics. Seeing the softballers out there, and wish I had been one. So this is the next closest thing I could get to it. So I recommend it for anybody and everybody. I really do.
Jen, would you recommend it also?
Oh, absolutely. If we could get a team from here, that would be fun because, like Claire said, there's, Claire, is it gold, silver, and
Bronze.
Bronze. So, even if you couldn't play at that gold level, you might be able to play at that bronze level. So there's a place for everybody.
But they do put you in age groups, though. They don't. Do they have like an open competition where it could be anybody from like you could have players 50 up to whatever?
In softball, it's definitely
Age groups.
I'm not sure about the other sports. I imagine it's probably the same, but I can't vouch for that.
Okay. Well, in case you've noticed, Claire is wearing a medal here, and she was on the championship team. I think you went undefeated, if I'm not mistaken.
We ended up going undefeated, which is the easy road to go. So we only played a total of 6 games. When we were in the championship game, that poor team had already played 3 games. It was their 4th game against us, and we were afraid because they were a powerhouse, but I think they were running out of steam by the time they got to us, thankfully. And had they beaten us, we would have had to play 1 more game. So that would have made them play 5 games in one day. And the heat in Iowa was pretty hot. Like Jen said, we were on AstroTurf, which adds another, I'd say at least 10 degrees. So thankfully, again, the easy path is to continue winning, and you can play 6 games and come out gold medal winners. They won the silver, and I guess they had to have played 2, 4, 6, probably about 10 games to get that silver.
Okay, well, congratulations on that. Jen, your team played quite a few games too, though, didn't you?
We played 7. We came out of our pool in pretty good situation. We won our first game, and then the team that won the whole thing in our division knocked us down to the losers bracket, and by that time we were so tired, running out of gas, so we lost our second game and we were out.
So you come home, and now you're ready to start preparing for, I guess, the 26 games.
That would be
which would be the state.
Yeah, that's going to be the state games. And again, in South Carolina, whether or not we get other softball teams to enter, have the state rep come here and get hopefully 2 teams here to get qualified, and would love, like Jen said, would love to get a team out of Sun City to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma. It is once in a lifetime, and we have ladies here that could definitely compete at that level, like Jen said, at different levels. I mean, but we could definitely make a representation for the state of South Carolina.
Well, any parting comments, Jen?
That was just fun, and I appreciate you having us here.
Oh.
We love softball. Claire and I love softball.
Yeah. I've seen both of you out there, and I haven't seen Claire play, but I've seen her coach, and she's a really good coach out there. And I know if she was one of my coaches, I'd be pretty disciplined out there. So I think she does a great job. And Jen, I've seen you play, and you play like a 15-year-old. I have to tell you that. You're all over the field, and you're diving, and I'm just amazed at that. I'm amazed that you can still get up, because that's, after 50, it's hard to get up if you're down on the ground. So it's great to see that, and I think you both really deserve a big compliment on what you did and what you brought back here. And thank you very much for being with us in this part of the show. I'm really happy that you were able to join me and tell us a little bit about your experience. If you want to see these guys, the Women's League plays on Wednesdays and Saturdays, right? Yeah, Wednesdays and Saturdays, and they're usually, I think there's 5 teams, and you can come and you can see Claire over at third base, and you can see Jen at shortstop, and you can see some pretty good softball here. The women really enjoy it. They play well. It's nice to see them play, and they have hot dogs here too on Saturdays. So if you like hot dogs, come for that. But you got to come and see these guys. For Sun City Sports, I'm Mike Romano. Thank you. I'm here with Phil Perrine, who is the vice president of the Silver Striders Walkers. And Phil, tell me a little bit about, do you do the same route every week, or do you change it to make it different for everybody?
Basically, we do not do the same route every week. We vary every time. And we also vary the location. We walk 3 days a week. And on Tuesdays, we start at the Hidden Cypress on Thursdays here at Magnolia Hall, and on Saturdays at the Lake House normally. And then we vary the routes. I've got probably 100 routes that I use depending on the location and so forth. We have 2 days a month. We take an excursion outside of Sun City, and on the first Thursday of the month, we go to the beach. Generally, it's one of the beaches at Hilton Head, but not always. Sure. And on the third Thursday, we do what we call a special walk, but it's an excursion, and it can be various places for historical purposes or whatever. We may be walking on trails. Last week, we were down in Georgia at the Wormslow Plantation. We had a group of over 20 people down there. And then we always go to lunch after these excursions as a group. So it's very social, as well as getting the exercise benefits. Some other places that we've gone to Port Royal. We've got a historian in the group who took us a couple of months ago through the historic section of Beaufort. We've had the same thing at Savannah, and so we vary things. So we think that it's both educational, physical, and entertaining as well as having a lot of great lunches together.
Sounds like a lot of fun, Phil.
Yeah.
Now we're with Robin Katz, who is the vice president of the runners in the Silver Striders group. Robin, do you do the same routes as the walkers, or do you vary your routes?
We do vary our routes. On Thursday, we meet at the same place as the walkers, which is Magnolia Hall, so that we can interact and see our friends that are the walkers, which is always nice to get together. But we do a different route. We meet on Tuesday at Lake Somerset. Thursday, we meet here at Magnolia Hall. And on Saturday, we meet at Riverbend. And we do a route. It's often the same route, but we shake it up and vary it just slightly. We do a lot of running outside of our community also. We encourage our runners as well as our walkers to register for many of the charity runs and walks throughout our community. In fact, we have an exciting one coming up on April 12th. We'll be doing the Plaid Nation in Hilton Head. So we always look forward to a lot of our charity work and charity runs and walks that we do throughout the community.
Good. Sounds like a lot of fun. I think we can have.
We need those action shots and Kodak moments that happen every day here in Sun City. Think about when you're out on the courses, the courts, or the field, putting that phone to good use and snapping those shots of your favorite athletes. To get a TV-worthy shot, here's a quick TV camera lesson. Most importantly, Hold your camera for a landscape, not portrait orientation. A good comparison to help you remember, think hamburger, not hot dog. Got it? To click it up a notch, here's some other hints. For a video, lock those elbows or stabilize against a solid surface. That way no viewers get motion sick. Pan slowly, that motion sickness thing. Shoot with your back to the sun and bright light. And zoom with your feet, which means get closer. Send your photos and videos with a brief description of the event details and identify persons when possible. Email them to suncitytvhh@gmail.com and watch for your first TV photo credit. With the new studio and lots of new residents, Sun City TV invites you to join our crew. Our growing technology presence requires enthusiastic, creative volunteers as camera persons, editors, script coordinators, reporters, audio and visual support staff. No previous TV experience needed. Many of the volunteer positions require about 1 hour a week. Email us at suncitytvhh@gmail.com to learn more.